Yes, guys. Yes, people. Welcome back to Chelsea Fan TV. Welcome back to the first episode of your Chelsea Fan TV previews. For it's a new season, a new era. Again, hopefully it's the third time lucky with us. Otherwise, there's going to be serious questions that need to be answered. But it's the start of the season, so I'm feeling quietly optimistic as I usually do. Hopefully, I don't have the same feelings after the first 5 games, but we'll judge it on a game by game basis. But first off, Kev, it's good to catch up with you again. It's been a minute. How's the summer been, bro?
Flat out, non-stop working, coaching, doing what I do. Got a long little holiday planned for Saturday. Looking forward to it, but I'll still be in touch with Chelsea. A few watch-alongs down in London, so it's been entertaining. But it's down to the business part of the season. Now it's time to get started. Let's see where we are. You know, hasn't been the best pre-season, but last season was a lot more hype for the season because we had a good one. So you just never know. We just got to go, like you said, game by game basis and see where we are in 5 to 10 games.
I don't like to make massive statements coming off preseason, especially after last year, because I think there's a bigger slap back to reality I've ever had watching football. But you can tell a couple things based off how the team plays, continuous issues or things that the teams improve at. One thing I've noticed is that we are very good in midfield when we're in possession. And in the attack and the wingers as well, there is always a lot of opportunities for them to make the most of what they have. Part of me's like we know the defensive issues. That's been the biggest issue out of preseason. But for me, part of that feels more like the players are just trying to understand the system, and I feel like I can be a little bit more patient with that. For me, the bigger worry has been the wings, if anything, for me.
Yeah,
Quietly, even more than the defense. I get it, we've conceded a lot of goals, but part of me thought that that was going to happen anyway while they adjust from playing pressing football to possession base. The
yeah.
wings, I've seen them have lots of opportunities, lots of time, isolated in 1v1 scenarios. For the most part, I've been a little bit disappointed.
Yeah, like you said, the midfield has been phenomenal, especially in transition from deep areas. It's totally different ball game to last season where it was very slow playing at the back and the ball wasn't going forward. But now you're finding Lavi's getting that ball forward and he's not just sitting there; he's going forward, joining on the wing. The wingers are staying wide, going on a one-on-one. But the thing that strikes me is it's just final product. And I think Madueke has had a lot of opportunities. I think to
Mm.
be fair, he's been probably one of the best wingers of this.
Out of the three, has been the best,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But obviously we've signed Neto, so if we keep him fit, maybe we've got Neto on the left, Madueke in the right, Palmer in the middle. So that's curtain to a lot of teams. But
Bro,
like you
I'm not
said,
even thinking that. Like, just
yeah,
away from that, Neto, Jackson, Palmer as a front three. I just deeped that today. Do you
yeah,
know how
yeah.
crazy that is? And
That,
maybe
that,
Nkunku in behind.
yeah, exactly. And I've forgotten Kinky. So we've
Bro,
got going forward. It's looking very exciting, but defensively with the high line. The last game I watched against Real Madrid, the ball was coming over a bit too much and we was getting isolated out there. Reece James is getting isolated in the one-on-one against Vinny Jr. So maybe that's what stood his hamstring. So we just got to be
mm,
a bit cautious, especially with City. Three-player high line against City. Doku's going to expose that space. You got Savio, who's brilliant player on that
we need
right hand
the
side.
wingers to get involved more defensively. Because that was
Yeah,
my other thing with them too. Mudrik and Madueke, like, Noni, they both got better at it towards the end of last season. Preseason, it felt like back to type in terms of laziness off the ball. When you lose possession, you're not coming back to try and help the right back. And then we're just left more exposed in transition.
yeah. So precisely. So it's down. To be fair, I think we're still finding our feet with the tactics, but
Mm.
for me, I'm starting to see a lot more patterns at play, and I'm more happy of the fact that the ball's going forward a lot quicker. It's going out wide. The players are getting at them. It's not like last season where it was just passy at the back, them lose the ball. It's a bit more attacking and a bit more colourful for us to see. So I'm happy for us to go in this direction, but I'm still a bit worried about going that way. I think defensively we've been awful. We conceded 12 goals during pre-season. It's not looking good. Badashir especially hasn't had the best of pre-seasons, but you just never know. I just want us to go out there and perform and just do what we've been doing pre-season. Get the ball forwards to the wing areas. We've obviously got Neto down one wing. We're going to have Palmer and Keane. We've got brilliant attacking players. So can we utilise them and get the best out of them this season?
Yeah, that all remains to be seen. We'll touch on the City preview in a little bit, but I do feel the same in terms of like I'm excited with what we're going to do going forward. At the back, the sooner we sort out, the better, because I'm very confident with the attack. I'm very confident with the midfield. You sort out the back line. Look, top four needs to be beyond the priority as start becoming an expectation at that point, because we should have got it last season. We didn't get it. We've got players that have come back now, which are going to look like new transfers. Obviously, the likes of Dewsbury, Hall, and Tosin, you hope they can play their part as well. And if we can get the likes of Oshimen and Felix, that's even more competition. If we can get all of those sorted, then top four has to become an expectation. But we'll touch on the Jao Felix stuff first, because this whole situation has got so much messier over the last few days. So it was initially meant to be on Rodion going one way and Gallagher going the other way. But Rodion failed the medical and we wanted to take 50% of his image rights, so the deal fell through. Now, out of an opportunistic move, and also because we need to get rid of Gallagher, he's not re-signing a contract. We have to get rid of him with a year left. We're looking to just get Jao Felix because it's the best available player that we can take. And
it's not. Sorry, carry on, Lewis. Carry on.
No, I was going to say, from a squad planning perspective, both on Rodion and Felix don't make sense to me. We don't necessarily need either of them. On the other hand, I know we have to sell Gallagher, and like that's the whole plan of this. Anything about Rodion being a player for the future is a load of BS. You might develop him, but he's not necessarily in your plans. The whole plan is we need to sell Gallagher because we have to. I feel like we're setting ourselves up for a future problem in terms of the squad planning and all of that.
It's awful.
But we're also getting a good player. So at the end of it, I just feel very indifferent about the whole situation. Like if we were to walk out of this and Gallagher ends up staying, we're just back to square one. If anything, we need to sell Gallagher and find a club for him. But at least we're not taking a player that we don't necessarily need. And I say that I rate Jao Felix. I think he's a really good player. I do think he could be an asset for us.
Yeah.
We don't have room.
It just baffles me how this is materialized. You know, you got Gallagher taking pictures at Atletico Madrid Stadium with his family, and now he's back at Cobham. Like it just goes to show these people in charge who are making decisions haven't got a clue what they're doing. And every week we're seeing it. The planning is awful. Like, think about it. You're going in for this Sammy Adaramin, whatever his name is. He's fall through, and then to just jump into another player, Jao Felix. We don't need another wing out. That's covered. We've got Neto. That's covered. If there was smart people, they'd probably offer a couple players, and they've got Jimenez, who's okay. I'm thinking a bit out of the box here. It's not that easy. We're not playing footy manager here. It's a bit out of the box, but they've got Jimenez. He's a centre back. I don't know what they could do, but
even then, you get Jimenez. We now have 6 centre backs.
Well, Jimenez starts all day or ever.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, because like even with Felix, people will try and make an argument for that, but there's not really room for Felix. And even with Jimenez, now you have to sell 2 centre backs, including Chalobah, who can't find a Champions League club.
It's just an absolute mess, and it goes down to plan. You know that Thiago Silva is going end of the season. You should be planning to bring in an experienced centre back to come in and replace him. Who's gone and signed? Tosin. Okay, he's a good Premier League player, but is he going to give you the experience? Is he going to give you the knowledge going into a Premier League season? No, he's not. So we're then stuck with a hole in the defence. Gallagher's coming out. Okay, Gallagher's not the best of players, but to me, he's a leader on the pitch. So 2 of your leaders coming out. Who are we replacing him with? There's no planning going into this transfer window, and now we're left with Gallagher. He's coming back to Cobham, training with kids. Chalobah's training with kids. We've got 3 or 4 players training with the under 21s. It's just a total mess. So for me personally, I wouldn't go for Jao Felix. Okay, as much as I'm excited at the prospect, he's got potential to be a good player, but I don't think we need him right now. I think maybe if we got rid of Mudryk or Sterling, there would be a bit more space for him. But I think we need to sell Conor Gallagher.
Be impossible to sell.
Get an Oshimen. Get rid of a couple centre backs, say Chalobah, whatever, and bring in experienced centre back. It's not rocket science. From the planning in the transfer window has been awful, and it's been just like the last few transfer windows. It's all over the place, and it's kind of embarrassing for us.
The problem, and one thing I've noticed while I've been tracking this window, is that it's all been dependent on outgoings. But the outgoings have just dragged. Like with Kepa, I can't believe we rejected an offer from Al Ittihad for Kepa. We've been trying to sell this guy since 2020. We have not had a single permanent offer. This was the first permanent offer and we've rejected it. I get it. Kepa's also going to stall on them and make them wait because he's hoping he can go back to Madrid if Lunin gets sold. But you could still accept the offer. We didn't even do that. And I don't believe that Saudi would offer anything less than book value because that's all they do. All they offer is book value unless he's a
It's worth
superstar like Salah, and then they'll just give you a blank check.
it's
We
worth 30
rejected
million
it.
pounds. This is the thing though. So he signed
He's
in
got
two or
like
three.
10, if that. He's got a year left. And we
We
still
si-
rejected.
we've signed. We're gonna go in for this Belgium youngster keeper as well. So basically, we've signed 3 keepers this transfer window, and we haven't got rid of one.
You know, we have 10 on the books.
And this is the thing. Like
Hold up. I think
Lewis,
I got the whole squad list up here.
Lewis, me and
Where is
you
it?
right now.
There it is. And I think
Yeah,
we signed like 2 or 3 players since then. Now, obviously, like 10 or 15 are going to end up leaving, but still, in paper, it looks hilarious.
it's just, and I've heard today that Gabriel wants a permanent move, and we're still looking for a transfer for Fofana now. Lukaku, Washington wants to go. It's just a total
Nacho
mess.
Fofana could go as well. I think Cassaday's being offered as part of the Oshimen deal.
Okuchukwu as well. Apparently, Southampton
Which,
are in for him
yeah,
tonight.
as a loan offer. And I don't
Yeah,
mind because for the most of these players, like they were all going to be about just developing and selling for a profit anyway.
yeah,
It's only like the main first teamers and maybe
yeah,
your Estevals and your Kendry Pieses because they're looked at as the next Neymars and all of that. You might end up keeping them. But for the
yeah.
rest, you're developing like Amari Hutchinson, and then you're finding a better club for 3 times the price or something.
There's no strategy, Lewis, and this is what frustrates me. We should be concentrating on getting quality players in this squad. So we've got a bulk of quality players. Then we can bring in the youth players, develop them. We're doing it the wrong way around. We're bringing in all these players, and we've got 44 players on the books right now. And who's to say that these players are going to go out alone? So imagine Cobham right now. We've got 44 players coming back. You're having to push players into the under 21s because they can't find space for a normal training session.
I think the only worrying thing for me is that we are rapidly running out of international loan spots. We've got like 1 or 2 left. Not even that. Like Petrovic could be going on loan to Strasbourg, which would be another one. I think I had the rest up here.
Selena's going to Barnsley apparently.
So we got Mike Penders, Anselmino. We sent him back to Boca Juniors. Andre Santos, Angelo Gabriel could be permanent now. So Wiley, we got 2 left. Petrovic potentially, and then 1 more. The rest will end up having to be loaned within England. That's why we're seeing Ugo Chokwu being linked with the likes of Everton and the likes of Southampton and all of that.
Yeah, it's just a mess, and like all we want to see is quality over quantity. And we're bringing in too many players, like 8 goalkeepers, 10 goalkeepers in the books. What are we doing? Like, even if I was playing Football Manager, Lewis, I wouldn't go and sign 10 keepers. But this money is
that's
getting
all crazy.
We're throwing this money, and okay, understand the project, understand what they want to do, understand that they want to make profit, but you got to build a core team. You got to have a stable team, and then in and around all that, you then bring in the youngsters. You don't bring in all these youngsters, keep them on the books, and then try and bring in players after that. They're doing it the wrong way around.
What I will say though is the attack looks set. As long as we get Oshimen, the attack looks set. The midfield already looks set.
Yeah.
It's just the backline and the goalkeeper that we're questioning. And that's why I get like there's areas of the squad that we do need to look at and we need to say we should be handling it a little bit better. But in terms of the project as a whole, I don't think it's outright failing just yet. This season's make or break for it. I've already said you chose to hand this to Maresca, an inexperienced manager. Fine, the target is still top 4. That's the whole reason why I'm even giving you another season. Poch didn't get top 4. He flopped with the trophy. He didn't fall for the 5-game run and you sacked him. Fine, cool. I respect that. Now, you lot would have been the one that failed if we don't get top 4. Because you handed it to an inexperienced manager and the players still haven't got there. 3 years without Europe, that's ridiculous. For the rest of the players, they're going to think it's ridiculous as well because they're not going to be getting their bonuses. All of them are fat bonuses as soon as we get UCL football. So if they don't get it, everything starts to look very worrying.
Yeah. Well, we have got European football, but we're in the conference, so
boy. Yeah, at least it's a free trophy.
Fair tier, but even if you get that, that's even a question mark there. But what I'm trying to get to is we've spent all this money, we've put it into the wrong places, we're trying to get all these youth players and that. There's got to be a point where they say, stop, enough's enough. It's not working. Can we pull forward and get some quality? Okay, we've signed Pedro Neto. That's excited me. We linked to Joao Felix. I don't think that's for us. But can we get an experienced centre back in front of all the stuff that's going on? Can we get a bit of experience in this squad? Because that defense right now, I wouldn't even know what to choose. Fofana doesn't look in shape. Colwell looks a bit shaky. Disasi hasn't had many minutes.
They all look shaky. All of them.
Badashile hasn't really performed. So there's a big hole in that defense. We just need someone to dictate that defense, control that defense. Thiago Silva is going to be a massive miss for us. Can we replace Thiago Silva? I think that's the most important thing right now. If even before signing Oshimen, I think signing a centre back what's going to control that part of the pitch is more important than signing Oshimen right now.
See, I could understand that. Well, I say it. 100%. I'll be so real. I think we need that bagsman more than anything, even with the centre backs, because like we're not getting one. That's the thing. I don't see us going in for another round of centre backs, and I want to at least give them till January to at least see if they can just mesh and we can find a back two that has a bit of an understanding of each other. Because for now, I still think it's a little bit too early to judge them. The attack, even though like Jackson had a really good first season for like the first time he's in the Prem at his age, first full season up top, we needed a striker. We needed someone who knows where the back of the net is, someone who can just stay in the box, be ready for chances and bury them. Yeah. We don't have that, and we need that.
But my worry is, Lewis, you can score all the goals in the world, you can have whatever up top. If you're conceding goals going that way, there's just no point doing it. Personally, I'd rather have a strong back line and then build the attack. Attacking wise, we are okay this season. I believe if we keep Nkunku fit, we've got Neto and Palmer. That is good enough for me personally. That's probably one of the best front threes in the Prem. Oshimen, okay, he's going to get you 20 to 25 goals. Yeah, that's good. But there's no point having these players that are going to score 2 or 3 a game when you're going to see 2 or 3 as well. Because it's just, what's the point? From what I can see is the defense has got no clue. Like we're not reacting to play. We're falling back. So when the opposition's on the attack, we're going back into our own half. We're not reacting. We're slow. We're not looking over our shoulders at the back post. Everything about this seems like a disaster to me personally. I am not convinced at all that we'll have a good season with this defense.
That's also kind of where I think that they could get better. And I think that's just where the difference is, because I agree with what you're saying too. You have to prioritize defending over anything. They're saying goals win you games, defense wins you titles, all of that. It's just whenever I looked at a lot of the mistakes that were being made, it was more just individuals. But that's why I'm thinking they could potentially get themselves out of that too. Because it's a lot of bozo moments, just stupid decisions left, right, and center. And especially with the ages of these centre backs, I think they can get that out of their game. And that's going to be a job for Maresca as well. But I'd like to see if they can do that first. That's why I'm saying I want to go to January with the batch of centre backs that we have. If they're not good enough, we'll know by then without a shadow of a doubt, and then we go in.
Lewis, we've seen for last season that they're not good enough. It's the same backline, and then we've got.
Even then, I put that massively down to Poch's structure. Remember the stuff with the midfield and Caicedo just being in an island and Enzo playing second striker left wing. You isolate all the centre backs and then they all make mistakes.
Of course. I completely and utterly agree with you. Some of it's down to coaching, some of it's down to tactics. But like you just said,
down individuals as well. I'll give you that.
Individual moments. I don't believe these defenders are good enough. So, like I said to you, you can have all the attacking flair, all the attacking plays. You can have Oshimen, you can have whatever. If you're still leaking in sloppy goals, you're on the back foot straight away. And I just want a tough defense. So we should be invested in defenders. Me personally, that's my That's my
I
that's
wouldn't
my
even argue it down. I don't think we're gonna do it, and I also think they should be getting better as the season progresses. I think
yeah.
preseason, if it's done anything, it's just exposed a lot of the bad defensive errors because literally everyone's led to a goal or a big chance. I hope, like, as they understand the system a bit more, we should be dominating possession, which should also equal less chances on our goal that we'd be dealing with. You end up just focusing more on their passing game and everything, but that all just remains to be seen in the first few games.
Yeah.
Just quickly on the Oshimen stuff as well. Do you feel confident that we're going to get Oshimen done? Because this has been dragging throughout the summer window, and it does seem to be a massive stalemate. But it also looks like all roads end up leading with Lukaku going one way and Oshimen going the other. Because it suits both teams, and there's no other clubs in the mix for either player. So it's like a deal just needs to be made, but no one can come to an actual agreement financially.
It makes sense, and I said this a few months ago. Like, if you was a director or someone in the board that making decisions, why would they offer Lukaku, who wants to play under Conte, Oshiman, who wants to come to the Prem? It just makes sense for all parties. But what strikes me is they're both just bickering over little bits. I think we offered them they offered us 45 million plus Oshiman and
They've offered
Casadi,
about 25, 30 for Lukaku. We've
and
got them to lower their valuation of Oshimen to about 90 million, but it's still not. Actually, no, I don't know if that's the problem or the wages. I think the wages and the agent fee plays a part. Oshimen don't want a loan. We're trying loan with obligation and permanent.
I think it's very, very close. But when you've got Borora on the books, when you've got Jackson on the books, and you've got Mark Guy on the books, maybe that means a loan or a transfer somewhere else. So for me personally, like I said, it seems good, but you're then left with a headache with other players that are left rotting in the reserves or wherever they're going to be rotting. But it all makes sense. I think it's very close. We're not far off a conclusion to it. Get the deal over the line. But for me personally, like I said, I'm more bothered about the defense than Oshiman. I think you can have all these strikers that are going to get you all these goals, but if your defense is leaking in sloppy goals on a consistent basis, that's where the problem lies. But come on, with Oshiman in the front, you're going to have Nkuku. Hopefully, he stays fit. He's going to get you 15 to 20. You're going to have Palmer. He's going to get you 15 to 20. You're going to have Neto. If he stays fit, he's going to get. Come on, we're going to have like at least 60. So that can be the difference between us getting sixth place and fourth place. So very exciting times. But like I said, can we just get the deal over the line now and stop all these negotiations?
Facts. Because the sooner we get him in the team, the better. So
Yeah.
going into the first league game of the season, baptism by fire for Enzo Maresca. We're playing Man City at home. Slightly weaker Man City side now than the last time we played them because now Oscar Bob's going to be out with a leg fracture. It's a real shame for him because this was looking like his breakout year for Man City. But also like a little bit of an advantage for us because he would have been one of the danger men going into this match. Now, we're still going to be underdogs. We're probably still going to concede a hell load of chances, but do you see us getting anything out of this game? City do seem to start a bit slowly with seasons, and I guess the bridge will be up for it.
Just going off the pre-season game a couple of weeks ago, if you're going to give Erling Haaland two clear chances within the first 5 minutes, we've got no chance. So first and foremost, that defensive line's got to stiffen up and stop. It's just so much sloppy mistakes, Lewis, and this is what, I have no confidence. If we can stop all these silly mistakes, we've got all the chances in the world of winning. Personally, Rodri might be out as well. Apparently, he's just coming back from an injury, so he's not going to be in the
Oh, I
squad.
thought he might have a potential suspension. Something about talking about some islands after the Euros, something like that.
Yeah. He's got a 2-game. Him and who else? Another. I think a Real Madrid player. I think it's Carvajal.
Yeah, Morata. Morata got a one-game suspension with Rodri.
2-game ban. So without Rodri, we all know with Rodri in the team, they never lose. With Rodri at the team, they've got all chance of losing. Okay, the 2 last games in the Premier last season, we give him 2 brilliant games, and we was very unlucky in the semi-finals at Wembley to come away with a loss. So we've proved to ourselves that we can go toe with them. But like I said, if we can eradicate all the defensive errors, we'll be able to give them a good game. Me personally, I'm not too confident, but I'll be happy with a draw. I think that would be a step in the right direction. But like I said, it's just down to the defence, Lewis. I have no confidence. I believe that we can score goals, but it's just the red on the pitch.
Defense and the wings for me. Because I think we might end up seeing Mudryk and Noni again start, just because Palmer's only had that 1 second half against Inter. I'm not too sure about that. Like, Noni will give me something. He'll give me something.
I've washed my hands of him about two seasons ago. Like, the guy's not cut out for it. He hasn't got the football IQ. He hasn't got the touch. He hasn't got the brain.
I've said as soon as the first whistle blows, my patience is dead. You now have to perform.
And the thing is, we've been saying this for 2 years, and we still haven't been able to negotiate and getting him out of the club. He's not ready. Like right now, I think the potential is there, but he's not fulfilling it. He's having too much time to get to where he's at. Under Abramovich, anyone else, he'd be gone a long time ago. You know what I'm trying to say?
He'd be at the test.
We keep him with him because he's on a 7-year contract, but I just start Neto. There's no ifs. We've got to start Neto. If we want to win this game, start Neto on the left, start Palm on the right.
Honestly, I'll firm having Mudryk start if I have Neto on at halftime. I think he'll be a good impact sub, if anything. And I don't know where he's at in terms of sharpness and also like his understanding of the system. So it'd probably be better to ease him into the team a little bit. Mudryk's there, like, I guess he had a better second half against Inter. He did make a chance or two, but the bar's so low. The bar is so low.
It's just frustrating. For me personally, Lewis, I'd just start Neto. I don't care. I've had enough of seeing Sterling and Mudryk down that left.
I wouldn't even argue you down too tough.
Yeah, I know what you're getting with Neto. Neto cooks. It's keep him fit. That guy can shred. So I wouldn't even, obviously football's a harsh game. You start with with your best players, and Neto for me down that left is going to give City a problem. So I just go with Neto personally.
Fair enough. For the back line, I think it's going to be Fofana and Colwell. They've been the two to have had the most minutes in pre-season. So I think we'll start with them and just be switched on a little bit more. Like, to be honest, like the first goal against Inter, if anything, was more the midfield's fault than the defense in my eyes. But Colwell definitely, to me, has had a worse Actually, no, I say that. They've all had a bad pre-season. I just need to see a good game from them. Yeah. Just something to raise their expectations in the back line.
No confidence in that in our centre-backs right now. So they've got to raise their game. They're playing against Haaland. They're playing against the best striker in the Prem. So any mistakes given towards their team, it's a goal straight away. And it's proven in pre-season. 2 mistakes in pre-season, 2 goals for the guys. So, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about defence, but yeah, you are right. I think it'd be Levo, Colwell, Fofana. It'd be Cucurella on the left. Obviously, it wouldn't be James. James is out, so it'd be
Gusto and Cucurella.
Gusto on the right, yeah, Gusto on the right. Larvi has to start for me in the middle. He's been our best midfielder pre-season.
We're going to have a bit of a selection headache with the midfield, but I do look forward to that.
Enzo or Caicedo? He would be your...
Honestly, I think he's going to have to find a way to get all 3 of them in the same team. Because Caicedo and Enzo, both of them, with the price tags they have, I would assume the owners are putting some pressure to get the most out of the pair of them. And Enzo does suit his system. Caicedo is Caicedo. He's our best midfielder. But Lavia, when he plays as the deepest midfielder, he can do that role better than the pair of them. Caicedo's just a lot better around the middle of the park. Even though, like, I'd say Caicedo can do the deeper role. Lavia, in terms of just being able to be press resistant, turn out of pressure, find a pass like that, excellent. So you kind of have to get the 3 of them. And then you need to find out who's going to be the most attacking one. Because, like, there's also going to be Nkunku and Dewsbury Hall that you're going to have.
So you say a 4-3-3? Is that what you go? 3 in midfield and 3 up top?
4-3. Yeah. Although maybe for this first game, you might see Caicedo be the rested one. He's the one who's had the least minutes out of all 3 of them.
Yeah. So it'd be Caicedo, Lavia in the midfield, and Nkunku behind Jackson maybe. I'd go Neto on the left.
I think he starts.
You think Nkunku over Jackson, yeah?
And again, he's another one who only came back against Inter. So I don't think he's that ready. I think he only came on in like the 70-something minute too. So yeah, I doubt we see him start.
Yeah, so it'd be okay. So it'd be Mark Guhu up top, and then obviously Palmer on the right. So it's not a bad team. It's not a bad team at all. But the only positions that worry me, Lewis, is the centre backs. I just don't. Fofana doesn't look too sharp. He looks a bit, he needs a bit of match fit. This has been out for so long. So if we can tighten up that back line, especially in the centre back positions, we've got all the chances of getting a good result. But if we start conceding sloppy chances, the game's thrown away. So that's the only doubt in my mind.
First 10 minutes will tell a lot. I'll tell a lot.
That's what
What's your score prediction, bro?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with 2-1 City. Unfortunately, it's gonna be.
I thought you were gonna go for the optimistic route. Yeah, I'm gonna say. I say that myself. I'm probably gonna go 2-2 draw. I find it very hard to see a victory in this game, but I could see us not losing. Maybe just City on an off day or something. Who knows? But yeah, guys, it's been the first preview show of the season. Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Hit the like button, subscribe, all of that crap. And we will be back on match day. Take a look out, people. Pray for us and up the